he's the patron saint of Massey Hall, right? It's Gord's room, and if you think about it, there's really no better suited artist to strum that final chord here. In a way, we hope they don't notice too much. One of the guiding principles for us is to make sure that we're not fundamentally changing the character of the hall. This place has been around for so long and it's so cherished by so many people. The last thing we want to do is turn it into some swank modern concert hall. Oh, it's an incredible part of it, both for the artists and for the audiences. I mean, Massey Hall's acoustics are world renowned, and it's something that we don't take very lightly when we're talking about this renovation. We've engaged Bob Essert, an internationally renowned acoustician, who came in and did extensive work just capturing the magic of this room and understanding what it really is. It's so important for us to not do anything that's going to damage or change that characteristic. Now, having said that, it can be a bit challenging on stage for the artists. There are a number of reflections and echoes in the room that the audience would never really hear, but on stage it can create a little bit of sonic clutter. So we're doing some very, very minor intervention to tidy that up and improve the artist experience. We'll be providing accessibility to all levels, which is currently not the case, and we'll have concessions and washrooms on every level, which will be fantastic. In terms of the aesthetics of the hall, probably the biggest change is going to be the reintroduction of around 100 stained glass windows that dotted the hall when it first opened, but were covered over many generations ago. On the orchestra level, a number of the stained glass windows also have portraits of composers in them. So you've got, Bach and Beethoven and others. And 2 of the windows were removed many years ago to create some emergency fire exits in the building. And those windows went missing for an awfully long time, and we managed to find them tucked away unmarked in the basements of Roy Thompson Hall. They will be brought back to life. The center section of the main floor will retract under the stage and create a big open space down there, but the rest of the hall remains seated. So the seats on the orchestra level and the first balcony are being replaced. The seats on the gallery level, which are original to 1894, are being refurbished. The good news for many is that we will be selling off some of these original seats here. So they'll be, people can own a piece of the history. It's a few different things. The first and most important, without question, is just the ghosts in this room. Every single artist who comes through here knows about its history, and it means something different for everybody. If you're a jazz musician, you probably harken back to that 1953 concert. If you're a rock musician, you might think of Cream or Bob Dylan. If you're a singer-songwriter, you're probably thinking Neil Young. It means so many different things to so many different artists, but one thing is they all come in here knowing about the history and know who else has been on that stage before them, and it means a lot to them. And then you add to that the fact that it's just such an intimate configuration. The audience is so close to the artist. In most concert halls of this size, the things will go kind of straight back, and if you're on stage, it's really difficult to make a connection to that person who's in the last row in the hall. But here, everybody's so close, you can make eye contact and really see people's expressions, and it just really adds to the intimacy of the experience. So starting in the basement, brand new dressing rooms, green room, catering, all of the spaces that the artists rely on for comfort. It's their home away from home. The street level, we have a loading dock, which is a first for the history of the hall. All of these big touring shows that come in, we load them in through the front door, up a ramp through the center aisle, and it's challenging to say the very least. PA systems and extravagant lighting systems were not really dreamt of back in 1894. So the loading dock will allow us to bring things in quickly, safely, and conveniently, and hopefully a little bit faster. On the second and third levels, we have brand new lobby spaces that are being attached to the main auditorium. So patrons will be able to exit their seats from the balcony or gallery levels and travel through glass corridors that are attached to the outside of the building and make their way into the new facility, where we can find washrooms, food and beverage concessions, elevators, and a fun view over the cityscape. A very subtle different look, yep. So those iconic fire escapes that have been on the building for an awfully long time have pretty much met the end of their lifespan, and it's time for us to replace with something a little bit safer and more efficient for fire safety. So the fire escapes will come off and be replaced with these glass corridors that will flank the building. A number of ghost sightings throughout the years, and they're all welcome to stay.